right, y'all. What's going on, too? We got a topic coming up for y'all. We was sitting here contemplating what we was going to talk about. So, we came up with an interesting topic. Go ahead, sis. What was the topic?
All right, so this just came up the other day with me and my son. I forgot how it came about, but I think it may be a controversial topic for some folks, touchy for others or whatever. But it came up how long is it okay for a man or a female to live at home until, like, what's the age? You know what I mean? Like, is it you know, when you graduate from college, or you have a full-time job, how long, what is the age limit on how long you should be able to stay at home? And it also came up, just to clarify as well, is like the whole dating scene, right? We were saying, is it different for a guy, or LJ, my son, was saying, why should it be different for a guy to live at home and date? You know, you bringing your date to his parents' house where he lived, as opposed to a female bringing a guy home to where she lives with her parents.
Right.
Why is that different?
Okay. Okay.
Let's get these opinions.
So let's get these opinions. All right. First, let's say no. I don't need the GPS no more. Right. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me get some cash out. All right. Real quick, we on our way back from Jersey. You know what I mean? We Philly born and raised. We just hit a food truck spot, so we on our way back to Philly, man. And what you doing? I got it here. Take that out real quick. So, all right, let's do this topic. What's that? I got you. All right. So, let's go through this topic. First, let's determine what we think is the age.
Yeah. We'll give our opinion. We'll each give our opinions first, and then we can talk about it.
No, I'm not putting change in. I'm not giving them a bunch of change. Oh, you got 5 here. Oh. Okay. You know what? I got my Easy Pass on, y'all.
Over here.
I'm bugging. Okay. We good, babe. I got my Easy Pass. I'm tripping. I forgot it was because it's in your car. I thought it was back in my car. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. All right. Let's get back on.
We got a lot going on.
We got a lot going on right now. So
So let me hear you.
Who want to go first? Put your hands up. Who want to go first?
You go first.
Would I go? Okay.
We'll let the gentleman go first for once. In this scenario, we'll let
they let me go first this time so they can jump on me for what I said.
You understand?
I understand the setup here.
Me and Steph may not agree. We may not agree on the topic. I don't know Sheena opinion. Exactly. Exactly.
All right. So the question is, how long is it for a guy to live at home? Me personally, my opinion on the situation is, I'm 38. Okay, so how I grew up is a lot different from how I ain't gonna say it's a lot different. It might be different from other people. When I grew up, you had 2 choices. It was you either went into the military or you went to college. You couldn't just stay at home. All right. Now that could be controversial to some people, but you know, your parents are never going to kick you out. But just the thought of that situation made you want to get out. So neither here nor there. I would say my opinion is, the age for you to be out the house, I'm gonna say around in your 20s. I'm saying like at the latest 25 or something like that. The reason why I say that is because it's highly awkward for a guy of that age to bring a female back home to their parents' house. Again, when I was raised, my grandmother made it. I was raised with my mother and my grandmother, and she made it very uncomfortable for me to have a female in the house You know what I'm saying? It was no alone time. If I brought a female in the house, she was sitting there with us.
Sitting right there.
You know what I'm saying? So it was no.
It was a family affair.
It was a family affair. Excuse me. It was a family affair.
That's
so
true. That's true.
we didn't. To me, that was my motivation of like, yo, it's time for me to get out. I mean, I can recall a situation where I had a female over the house, and I'm like, it's like 10 o'clock. You know, my grandma usually in the bed by 9:30. You know, and I'm sitting there like, yo, you, when you going upstairs to go to sleep, Grands? You know what I'm saying? I got this. I'm gonna lock up. No, dog, she wasn't having it. I think she stayed up till like 11, 12 o'clock that night. It wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. So, you know what I mean? To me, that was my, you know, my notion. Like, yo, it's time for me to move on. It's time for me to get up out of here and start my own situation. So, right. You know, that's right. We're not gonna have it. We're gonna duck this way. So, yeah. So I'm saying 20s, mid-20s, it's time to get out. You know what I mean? For me, that's how I feel. 30 is pushing it, yo. I mean, for me, 30, I feel like that was pushing it. So, I mean, what's your opinion as females? What's your opinion?
Let me go second. I think I'm on Rodney with the age. I would say mid-20s, like 25, because in general, people go to college for what? Approximately 4 years, right?
Yeah.
4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
So by the time you're out of college, you're what, 22? 22, 23? So I would say you got a job as soon as you're out of college. On average, you might earn like what, three grand on average, something like that. So let me do some calculation. So if you earn
she getting real technical, yo. She like do some calculations.
Yeah. So if you have 3 grand and you're living at your parents, you're going to participate. You're not living there for free. You're going to have some bills anyway. You should be able to save at least half of that money
for sure,
which is
if
$1,500 a month.
And some parents, if not all, you know what I mean. So you might be able to save all that money
because you're young. You just start working. You're going to go out. You're going to spend some of that money. So if you saving on average $1,500 a month times 12 is 18 grand. So in 2 years times 2 is 36. In 2 years you got enough money to go and buy your house.
Deposit. Yep.
You out. So that was 25. 25.
Calculations.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to give some details to have people understand what is my train of thought. Right. So by 25 you should be good to go. You know,
and that's if you have a steady job. You know,
if you have a steady job. Now we understand sometimes life is hard.
Right.
If you can find a job and it's going to take a little longer,
as
a parent, I would totally support. But I want to see the effort.
Yeah, we definitely not saying that.
And not everybody is going to college, you know. So, you know, that's also a factor. But you still out here doing
something. So what's your opinion?
I mean, I agree. I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. With all of that, I think 25 is a good age because I am all for, you know, my kids going to finishing school, needing to come back home for a couple years to save up, so that they can have a good foot in to the real world, you know, getting set up.
Go ahead.
But then the other part of the question or the topic is, I know we're talking about the male, but is it the same? Are y'all saying it's the same for the female as well? Because on my part, and I hate to say it, because I'm not one I'm not one that's for the whole, it's different from male and females. Like, I do feel strongly about things being the same. I do, but I don't know, for this subject a little bit, I feel like if it's my daughter, I feel like I might be a little bit more lenient, a little bit on the age time. I think it might be a little, I wouldn't mind for her to stay home a little longer. Sometimes I feel bad for saying it because it should be the same.
Well, listen,
but I don't know, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way.
it's always going to be a double standard, even though people say it's not, and it shouldn't be, but it will always be a double standard. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we feel as though, you know, you a man, you should be able to stand on your 2 feet, and I feel as though you should be too. You know what I mean? And I feel like a woman can stand on her own 2 feet also. But like you said, you know, if it comes to my daughter, will she be allowed to stay a little longer, or will I be more inclined to allow her to stay a little longer? Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah. And that's not saying you kicking your son out.
It's not saying I'm not. No, I don't believe
it's not saying that.
No, but
you know,
I feel like you should, as men, you have to light a fire under the men's behind, like to get out, you know, and grow. I personally think people staying at home way too long now. I think people get a little too comfortable at home, you know, because the bottom line of the matter is you're going to have to get out. It's rather you get out younger, make a mistake, and then come back, than when you're older and you make a mistake and there's nobody else left to help you out. You know what I mean? At least you make the mistake early, you got a chance to rebound.
Right.
But everybody's situation is different.
And that's what I was about to say. It really honestly depends on the situation. We are just talking about a regular, you know, son, daughter coming home from school and everything, but people have different situations, different issues going on. You know, you never know. You might have a parent that you need to stay home. You need to be home with them. They need somebody there with them. So we are not talking about anyone who has special type of situations.
Everybody's situation
is different. Everyone is going to feel a different way, and that is okay. We are open to opinions. Hey, maybe your opinion will maybe sway my opinion. I like to, you know, hear other people's opinions. So no way are we saying this is for everybody, for sure.
And you know what I just thought too? I found that it's like a good idea to, I guess, by the time the kid is, you know, in high school, to have like maybe a conversation with them and say, what are the plans after graduating from college? Kind of like help them to have a roadmap.
Or you know what? It's not just college. It's after graduating high school. What's your plans after graduating high school?
Definitely, this is the basic. What you plan on doing after high school? You know, do you want to start a career? Do you want to go to college?
Because it don't always have to be college.
It don't always have to be college.
I totally agree.
She went to college. You know, my sister went to college.
I didn't graduate from college. I did 1 year of college. That was it. I had my daughter, and everything has been. I've been lucky to have had good jobs that have taught me everything I know. So for me, it was just the on-hand experience for me. It wasn't a college education at all. So like Seth said, it is so many different paths that you can take. For sure.
Especially nowadays.
Absolutely.
For me, it was the military. For me, it was the military only because, you know, I did like a semester or two of college or whatever, community college, and it just wasn't for me, man. You know, after doing that semester or two, I went to the recruiter's office and said, listen, I want to be on the next plane out of here. Just because of simple situation of, it was not growing up in Philly. For me, it was nothing here for me, as far as what I wanted to do between the violence and everything else. And I wasn't in the streets by no means, but to me, it was just nothing here for me, you know. And I think, you know, you as you grow up, you hit a wall. And I can only imagine that some people hit this wall where you were just here in your city and it's just nothing here for you. So that, to the young people, I would say, go into the military if you don't have nothing else planned. I mean, I'm a big advocate on that. Not on everything military, I'll jump up and say go into the military, because it's not for everybody either. But if you don't have nothing else planned and you don't want to stay at home, then, you know what I mean, that's the best thing to do. I mean, it has its up and downs like every other job does. Some jobs suck, you know what I'm saying? But you're going to find that here. You're going to find that wherever you go. It's better to get paid for it, because some jobs are going to just suck. So everybody's situation is different. But coming back to the topic, though, you know what I mean? If it helps, if it's better for you to stay at home longer, if you can stack that bread and stay in the home longer, and when you do move, you can move into improve your environment or your situation, then that's what you should do. But if that's what you say you're doing, then you have to stick to that and actually do what you say you're doing.
Yeah.
Stack some bread. You hear a lot of people talking about they saving, they ain't saving. People ain't.
Yeah, because I could tell you, for me, unless I see you out here doing what you need to do to get yourself situated, like you said, saving your money up and everything, I'm sorry. This isn't. I'm working hard, and I've worked hard to get where I need to be. You are grown now. I don't have to, like, we gotta do this. You gotta do this. Like, you still under my roof. I love you dearly, but you gotta be working too. You can't just
be sitting under my roof not doing nothing. That's
not
gonna happen.
Yeah, and I'm gonna push you to do it as well, but you gotta push yourself as well. So,
what do you guys think? Hit us up in the comments and let us know what you think. What is the age, if it is any? I got a friend from the islands, and she said they don't have an age. You know, they just, from the islands. She said they kids stay until they get married.
Reality,
so, and that's cool too. Everybody's different.
The worlds are different. I'm not from here, so I mean the reality are different in different places.
Right.
So on the island, people don't have jobs. If you don't have a job, you can save money.
Right. You're right.
So of course you're going to stay at your parent way longer, until you can get your situation working for you. So again, I mean, it depends. But here we're in the U.S., so that conversation is all about. I guess that's a general topic. But again, we're in the U.S., so what you U.S. citizen or U.S. people thinking?
Yes, and also, do you think it should be different for a guy versus a female?
Right.
Like, is there a different?
Is it a double standard?
Is it a double standard? Yeah. Is it okay for a female to be living at home at 30, 35, as opposed to a man living at home 30, 35? Bringing dates to the house.
That's
I
need to know where people getting this money for these Teslas. Goodness gracious,
they're nice cars.
They're expensive too.
But yeah, so just let us know what your thoughts are. If you have any comments, questions, feedback, it's okay if you don't like anything that we say.
That's cool too.
It's fine.
Because we don't care. We don't.
We all have different opinions. It is okay. I wouldn't want us to all have the same opinion.
I don't care.
So.
Well, let us know if y'all like this little drive time discussion, and we'll decide if we're going to do some more, man. We'll hit y'all up too. Thank y'all for riding our this ain't no Benz.
This is not no Benz.
This ain't no Benz, bro. You tripping,
what's this? This is the family vehicle.
This is a family vehicle. You know what I'm saying? We got the car seat.
Highlanders are super comfortable.
You know what I'm saying? Come on.
It
man.
is though. It could be our wannabe Benz. It's okay.
It's alright. Living on a budget. Like most of us, living on a budget. Alright, y'all. We holler at y'all later. Get back to us with y'all feedback. Y'all be good. Be safe out there. Be blessed. Peace.